Anybody hear the song a few minutes ago and immediately start going in their head? Nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday.
That's normally going in my head too.
Oh, is it? Really? That's like a normal routine thing for you?
Yes.
That explains a lot, Jonathan. Sorry, I'm just framing my fat ass here for the camera. Right. That's $200 for a family of 4. So my cousin's in London right now, and that's just like the bane of her existence. But every time something goes wrong at the museum, she puts out a nothing beats a Jet 2 holiday.
So the song that it transitions
Uh-huh.
is sung by Jesslyn. And if you go on Jesslyn's Spotify, it says
Jet 2 holiday.
she's capitalizing on that.
But of course she is. She's getting paid for that. Hell yeah, she's capitalizing it. I don't blame you one bit. Dayton Poetry Slam. Fuck. Hold on. September 7th, 2025. Take one. Who doubted me? Last show, who doubted me? Go ahead, raise your hand. I fucking told you Phantom Theater was coming back to Kings Island. So you wanted to see the theater, did you? I'm working on it. I've already, as soon as they announced it, I emailed Sally Corporation. Do you need voice actors for the show? Please. I'll do any of the parts. Huh?
Did they?
No, they haven't gotten back to me. They're not going to get back to me, please. If I had an agent, maybe, but who the hell has time for that? So, but yes, no, can't wait. Phantom Theater coming back. That's going to be awesome. So, all right, we've got a nice, robust list as always, and it's always expanding more and more and more. So, going to have a lot of fun night tonight. Just a straight open mic. Actually, I can't say that because the only thing straight about the open mic is that there's a list. That's kind of it, and that's the way we fucking like it. So, gonna have a lot of fun on that one. Let me think here if there's any announcements I need to get before we get things kicked off. The slushie is margarita, just a regular, normal, but still pretty fucking tasty margarita. That's the frozen tonight. I don't know, Jonathan, do we have beer reviews tonight? There is a pumpkin spiced ale.
I haven't tried that yet.
It's very coffee-y.
Jalapeno base is delicious. Also fun to say.
Okay. I had the scotch, the scotch ale. That was pretty damn tasty.
And if you enjoy an IPA that does not
I don't, but
country, the friendship bracelet.
okay. And Kate is taking suggestions for the next Yellow Cab video. Oh, come on. Did you all see the last one for the Dayton Music Fest that they did on Instagram? Katie does amazing videos and pulled Brighton in as well and pulled all the big bartenders up and down the Oregon District to jump into the video. Oh, it was great. I loved it. That was your best. Well, I'm sorry. That was your second best. Do you have any chairs? That's still the best.
Well, now I'm asphalt.
How many times did that person call asking if there was chairs here? Isn't that what sparked that? Yes, we have chairs. Wow. All right, poets, one poem. I don't think I actually have to get on anybody about that, but it's just one poem, reasonable length. Don't start anything with "Call Me Ishmael" or we're gonna have issues. I haven't done that joke for a while. I was in the mood, and welcome to spooky season, so we're gonna have some fun stuff. I've already got Nightmare Before Christmas viewing in, and Halloween is Grinch Night viewing in, and we started it last night. My youngest and I we have a projector we set up in the outside sometimes, and we started off with Sleepy Hollow with Ichabod and Mr. Toad. So Halloween is Grinch night is the best.
Also, the entire movie's drug references.
Well, yeah, of course. He drives the paraphernalia wagon.
Paraphernalia wagon, okay.
Yeah. We'll put a link to it in our Instagram feed tomorrow. So, all right, let's go ahead and get this shindig kicked off the way we like to kick this shindig off. Please give a huge round of applause to Stephen M. Wuebker. You ain't here yet?
Good evening. Thank you. Thanks, Link. How we doing? What's the mood of the room tonight? Up, down, up, summer's over. Welcome to Sunday evening poetry service, as I like to say. It's an honor to be your opening poet. First things first, give it up for Yellow Cab Tavern. They put the roof over our head. Give it up for the four pillars, Lincoln, Aisha, Morgan, and Johnathon. They volunteered to do this. They keep it running. Tonight's my turn. I'm always up here saying thank everybody, thank each other, thank Yellow Cab. My turn to say thank you. Thank you for letting me be your opening poet. I volunteered to do this. Nobody really ever wants to do it. I love public speaking, so I'll get up here and do it. So thank you for trusting me to be your opening poet. I think long and hard about what I'm going to say sometimes, whether I'm the first poet, last poet, and I'm going to say the same thing, whether there's 10 people or 10 times that. I don't want to start off the evening dark, but I write some really dark shit. You live long enough, you write enough dark stuff. I don't write whimsical. Somebody said, I like to write whimsical. That's their journey. Maybe we need a whimsical night. Maybe we need a dark shit night. I don't know.
Isn't that every night?
Oh, wait, it should be every night. That goes with the trigger warnings. Fellow poets and creatives, we're always up here giving trigger warnings. I say if you go to a poetry slam or open mic and you don't hear a trigger warning, you're not at an open mic. So we take it with us, we go home, we write about it, we work through it. There's some new people here. You don't know what snaps are? Ask your neighbor, as I like to say. It's our way of letting the poet, you're feeling what they're saying, you're with them. A lot of applause. Lately, we have not been clapping on and off the stage. You'll hear Link, you'll hear all the four pillars saying they're not there yet. It takes a lot of guts to get up here. So we clap people on and off the stage. It's just a way of showing our appreciation for each other and the poets that get up here. Poetry, that's why we're here. Keep going. Tonight, this is in honor of someone who just recently passed away. They say we need to be more kind, so I'm going to be kind. James Dobson founded Focus on the Family. I just had a brain fart. James Dobson just passed away. James Dobson didn't really like anybody that would be in this room tonight, I don't think. I think he would rather us be at a congregation somewhere. So, in honor of being more kind, I hope he rests in peace, because I can't imagine going through life with that much vile and hatred towards other people that don't follow you. So, this is my poem in honor of James Dobson, called My Focus on the Family Has Always Been Blurry. Someone died, and once again, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, tired old philosophies will never rust. My focus on the family has always been blurry. No fatherly figures to offer guiding advice due to generational short-term life expectancies. Those were my patriarchs. Stifling for decades, child mind inquiries always met with, "We don't talk about that." Those were my matriarchs. More divorces than marriages available because the ink never dried on their certificates. Those were my cousins. A relative who learned from her mother's deathbed the man she worshipped was not her father. Those were my aunts. Being called a pansy was all I ever knew until it changed to pussy in the latter years. Those were my uncles. When the family tree throws shade, it does not always comfort from the heat of their words. So many black sheep in a family of Technicolor Dreamcoat beliefs, yet my rainbow was only allowed to shine in colors of muted gray and white. Microscopic precision never pertained to Microscopic precision never pertained to their examinations and explanations. There is only one category of pariah. Heirlooms and inheritances and keepsakes kept safe, just like the secrets they tell, only if you are worthy and in their will. So when you say from the pulpit or grave, repent, sinner, and change your way, tell me, who is there to lead my follow? Regardless of how many false prophet preachers have tried to show me that way, my focus on the family has always been blurry. That's the title of my poem. My name is Stephen M. Wuebker. Thank you for listening.
Y'all keep it going for Stephen M. Wuebker. Also, Steve, thank you for taking on all of the heavy lifting, explaining to people how things work here. Because the four of us don't really do it often enough. We really don't. I mean, we figure you'll figure it out eventually if you keep coming. Y'all, it is September. We have got some great things coming up here in the next few months. We will be having our annual costume contest in October. Feel free to dress up in a costume, perhaps as your favorite poet. And we've got a great feature coming up in December, don't we, Link?
Yeah, actually, we got two features coming up. In November, we have Atlas the Poet from Underdog Academy. We'll be hosting a book release here at our first show in November. And then December, we have the one and only Dayton original Nikki Allen will be, by heavy request, will be featuring for us then. And then I think we have what? We have April booked next year?
I will have to double check, but we have Torley Bush, who is an Appalachian poet coming in from West Virginia.
Mountain Mama.
Morgan, Link, Aisha, and myself. And if you were also at Meat Grinder 2 years ago, I apologize for not remembering you were there, but I barely remember that I was there. We had the privilege of seeing Torley at Meat Grinder 2 years ago, and they will be performing here in spring of next year. I don't know the exact month off the top of my head, but I can definitely tell you it will be spring.
And we can, I think we can mention tonight, our second show in December, we will not be having a slam as we would normally would, but by heavy request, it's our most favorite specialty show that we do. We're going to have another prom. So it'll be a prom slam, the second show in December.
I have to come up with a hilarious but somehow also generic theme for the prom. And we're still ironing out the details, but there
Enchantment under the disco ball.
We're still ironing out the details on the exact date, but we are also going to have a benefit show coming up with Period Kits Ohio. They provide feminine hygiene products to women who struggle to afford those for themselves. So, and shout out to Yellow Cab for me knowing who they were, because I found out about them, about Period Kits Ohio as an organization at Jaws Trivia here a month or so ago. I don't remember when that was. I just remember that my fiance Christina knows everything there is to know about Jaws, and it's a little intimidating. All right, that's enough from me. We're going to go ahead and get our next poet up here. Y'all, go ahead and put your hands together for Riley. Also, if you signed up and you need to go in the first half but didn't write that down, come talk to myself or Link.
Hello. I have some old shit. This is America's ABCdarium. Ambiguous messages from whoever watches over me. Books that can see the world ahead of us are being banned in schools. Color dulls in comparison to the eyes of our inner child. Deliver us from evil, the priest repeats to himself as he recalls his acts of abuse. Eternal heaven is only a small donation away. Fathers become the men they warmed their daughters about. Gravity sculpts the faces of our elders. Hypocrisy runs through my grandmother's veins like the water in the roots of our family tree. I am not my blood. Journals holding the most powerful voices are hidden away in an angry man's home. Kitchen walls hearing the whispered dreams of the women enclosed inside of them. Linger by the entrance of my childhood home that parts of me died in. Memories flood in as to baptize me from the sins I am not sorry for. Nursery rhymes in my mother's voice sing in the wind. Opioid crisis and glamorized Ozempic. President-elect who cannot vote. Quietly, victims console themselves. Rapists praised on television screens nationwide. Sleeves can hide tricks, wear hearts, or cover scars. Traffic interrupts time, offering a moment to exist in the absence of motion, until horns blare at the cars in front of them as if that singular Honda were to blame. Validity is added to the narrative when suffering is involved. Worship a pro-life God while women are dying in hospital beds and bleeding out in parking lots. X-ray vision into a future where the bones of our society are found fractured. Youth stay young on a planet that dies before they do. Zoloft nor prayer can save us. Thank you.
All right. We do have some other specialty shows coming up beyond the prom in December. We've been talking about this for a while, and I think we're going to try to do it in January. We've talked off and on for a while about doing a team night. So the slam itself, you cannot be on your own. You have to have a partner, at least one partner. You know, you can have up to 4. Yeah, you can have up to 4. We'll talk about that later as we go. But that'll be in January, and, you know, you never know Ohio weather if it hits, and we'll move it to another one. I had one of my students at UC the other day asking for a snow day already. I'm like, motherfucker, what? Like, he's like, but it's Ohio. Like, it could be snowing. I'm like, come on. We get our first snowfall on Halloween. That's how it works. Every year we get a little snow falling on Halloween, and then the next day it's 90. And then our actual real snow doesn't hit until February. Whenever we have a major feature booked, that's when it hits.
You'd think we would learn after 26.
Right? No, never. Never, ever, ever. So I had to explain, you know, when you're K-12, they cancel school for kids. Like, they don't want the kids get hurt. They won't do all that. College, they cancel it for the teachers and the admin and the staff because we're the ones driving in. But I will admit, 4 or 3 different colleges, and I'm, you know, about 3.5 weeks in so far, not one student has shown up in pajamas. I feel like I'm gypped. Like, anyways, let's go ahead and get our next individual up here. We have not seen this person in for fucking ever, so I'm really ecstatic to see them up on stage today. Please give a huge round of applause to Adelia. Coming from outside.
Hey everyone, it really has been a minute. So this is new shit. Like, I just finished. It's probably not even done. I was writing it outside. Yeah, I had a shit night last night. And it brought up a lot of stuff. Okay. It's called joke. Just stop reacting. They're just trying to get a reaction out of you. Just stop caring. But that's not fair. I know, but that's how it works. It's easier if you fight it. They're just making jokes. Jokes. They make it hard to fight when they hide behind jokes. When they hide behind them like shields when you're offended by their offense. Don't tell me to choke down my own feelings when they can't even squeeze out a drop of empathy. Every little joke, a pinprick on my skin, my blood leaking like poison I want to bottle up and stir and tear their tea. But I don't. I let it slither down my skin, down my scalp, and into my eyes, into my ears. Poison works its way into my brain, my skull, the only thing resembling a body that I own. And it sloshes every time I rack my brain to figure out why the fuck I'm getting blamed for bleeding without so much as an expectation of an apology for the one who jabs. Why are you getting so worked up? What do you mean you don't want to be friends? You gotta learn to take a joke. It's not that deep. It's not that serious. Why can't you get my name right? We've been in the same class since kindergarten. Why are you making jokes about your friend's assault? Why is it not as bad because he's a man? You gotta learn to be empathetic. It is that deep. It is that serious. I'm red in the face and they're laughing at me. I've been the joke to them the whole time. Thanks.
Y'all know you got to put your hands together one more time for Adelia, right? So some of you might be wondering, why do they have a video camera on stage? Some of you may have also realized that they probably video record the slam and post it somewhere online. We do that. We are on YouTube. I did say doo-doo. That's because we're a family-friendly event, and I can't just be up here saying shit on stage. We're not a family-friendly. You know what? It depends on the family. It depends on the family. We are on various social media platforms. We are on YouTube. We are on Instagram. If you're like, hey, it's cool you're on Instagram and it's cool you're on YouTube, but I don't want to be on those, just let us know. You can either write it down on the sign-up sheet yourself, or you can say it when you come up to the microphone. That way when Link is editing the videos, he's like, oh, that person does not want to be on here. That saves me some time. Thanks. I don't know if it actually saves Link time or not. It does.
And I am sorry that I'm behind on getting videos together. I have four jobs now, so if you want the videos up faster, edit them your goddamn self!
The views and opinions of Lincoln Schreiber do not necessarily reflect those of the Dayton Poetry Slam. Nah, they do. They do. Link's been hosting this thing so long, he could take his hosting duties out for a drink after the show if he wanted to. Hey, anytime, buddy. We are also on Facebook. You can find us at Dayton Poetry Slam. Is the TikTok still a thing? We're on TikTok. Is it Dayton Poetry Slam on TikTok as well? I don't know. I don't have TikTok. If I download TikTok onto my phone, I just sit on TikTok all day and don't do anything. And
well, you already do that on Facebook and YouTube, so.
Listen, somebody has to argue with motherfuckers on WHIO's Facebook page, okay?
You and Kevin Fodor back and forth all day long.
Many a morning coffee cup is consumed just by watching you, my friend.
What the fuck else am I gonna do? Technically, I'm supposed to be working, but there is someone who's wrong on the internet, and I've already got all my work done. Because I'm an efficient motherfucker.
Thank you, Jonathan, for being the exact argument against remote working.
No, I'm efficient. I'm already done working. I have hit the performance metrics for the day.
Wait, did Trump send a flyover during our show?
Yes. He's asking people for $15 so he can get into heaven, which is actually something he did. He's a televangelist now. Man, it must be weird being a billionaire and needing people that, are living paycheck to paycheck to send you fucking money all the time. All right, y'all, that is enough from me about that. I'll tell you about our farmersonly.com dating profile page later.
Oh, too bad, YouTube. That's only mine to enjoy. I like that one. Ever since we started talking about these charging Trump's trying to get $15, or give me $15 to get into heaven, all I can think of is Oompa Loompa, all the ways to tell just how fast you're going to hell. With that being said, your next poet is me. Hearing that poem sparked this in my head, a memory in my head. This is somebody else's poem. This is, I know, San Diego poet Mighty Mike McGee. This is his poem called Soul Food, a duel with death at lunchtime. So last week, the angel of death comes knocking at my door, totally interrupting perfect strangers. And I'm like, dude, you are so early. There's so much more I wanted to do with my life. You've had plenty of time for that. You sound a bit like Sean Connery. Actually, he sounds a bit like me. Whatever, dude, there's got to be some sort of loophole. Like, what if we competed for my soul, like some type of contest? I do love a good challenge. If we can both agree on one, then the winner may keep your soul. At this point, I remembered I had a pot of ramen noodles waiting for me on the stove. The angel of death was lured into my kitchen by the sweet, aromatic joy of powdered shrimp flavoring. I could see death was hungry, so I made a second pack of noodles and we sat and ate in silence. But my hunger just wouldn't subside. So while I raided the fridge, I noticed a death scoping my Rice Krispie treats. Still hungry, huh, dude? We'll take one for the road, he said. And we both put a Rice Krispie treat in our pocket. I could probably eat just about half of your food. So could I, dude. So could I. And it hit us both at the same time. We pulled out every bit of food in my house and divided it all into equal halves. We only had one rule. First person to finish eating our half of food keeps my soul. We sit down on the kitchen floor surrounded by an odd buffet. The world's greatest food challenge was about to begin. But this was no ordinary match. I took an early lead as death fumbled open a can of refried beans. I plowed through half a dozen eggs and half a gallon of milk. I strategically swallowed spoonful after spoonful of leftover lasagna without chewing. Death caught up to me with a tub of butter and half a soggy pumpkin pie. I hustled my way through cans of corn, green beans, kidney beans, chili, chicken soup, fruit cocktail, and a few cans of peas. But I was stopped dead in my tracks by a mystery can. Its label was missing and nowhere to be found. Fuck! Dog food! I had no time to think. I had to eat it. Death was ahead of me by 2 cans of beer, a frozen steak, and what we think may have been tamales. I burped to make room and continued on my feast for my soul. I ate broccoli, cauliflower, cucumbers, oranges, bananas, a container of baking powder, 2 cups of salt and pepper, a jug of Pepto-Bismol, and a can of whipped cream. We reached our last food item, 1 raw potato each. We slowly gnawed our way through the raw potato, swallowing our last bites at the exact same time. It looked as though we had a draw. Then Death looked at me with a sly grin and handed me a Tupperware bowl with my half of uneaten Jell-O. I grabbed a straw and sucked it down, saying, "There's always room for Jell-O, bitch!" But Death just smiled and said, "I believe I finished my half before yours. Your soul is mine." But I just outsmiled him and said, "What's that in your pocket, hooker?" His face sunk as he reached into his pocket and pulled out the last Rice Krispie treat. He looked at me in fear as I handed him my wrapper and swallowed a mouthful of crispy marshmallow goodness. I believe I win, fucker! With that, the angel of death bowed and vanished, and I sat down to an episode of Full House and ordered a pizza, because there's never anything to eat at my house. I haven't done that poem in a long time. I didn't know I could get through it still like that. All right, please give a huge round of applause. Our next poet up is Lucas. Lucas, come over here.
Hi. I don't think I've ever used a microphone before, so can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. I've also never read poetry before out loud to a crowd like this, so can you hear me? Cool. Gonna be short, quick. Hi, I'm Lucas. I speak with my full being. All the words that leave are my own unless tainted with substance. Yet, like a reptile trying to mimic human speech, it's sparse, often wrong and awkward. Everything, though, is genuine. It is all my heart, yet I can sense they peer through me, trying to decipher my true motives as of a being wearing skin that isn't mine, draped over shadows. Such a foolishness I can perceive, that if I had a choice, this is the flesh that I would live in. My words often go unthought on ears, thinned by the air around my mouth, and lost on a text that was never meant to be read aloud. Thanks.
Y'all put your hands together one more time for Lucas. It's especially rude to talk into a microphone with your mouth full, because then other people have to look at the food that was in your mouth that's on the microphone. So thank you for bearing with me while I chewed the last of that food.
Not to mention that Yellow Cab has to clean the microphones, because does anybody else, how many of you were here when we were doing pandemic shows out in the parking lot?
Oh shit, I found a microphone condom in my pocket a week ago.
Yes, I missed the microphone condoms. Practice safe poetry.
Speaking of Yellow Cab Tavern, if y'all ever wake up in the morning on a Saturday or a Sunday and you're like, I'm hungry, but I don't feel like cooking food. They do fucking brunch here, y'all, and it's pretty fucking delicious. Link, you're the reason I know that.
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely delicious. Good smash burgers. The French toast is fucking to die for. The potato wedges are awesome. Take the word of a fat man. It's delicious.
I've never had bad French toast in my life. Why? You put enough maple syrup on something, it'll taste good. If you put enough maple syrup on it, I might. Y'all put your hands together for your next poet up to the mic. Jeffrey. Yes. Based on what you looked like when you signed up and what you look like now, yes.
Oh my God, I can't believe it's me. Hello, everybody. I thought I would detach the microphone, but it seems impossible, so I'll just hold it like this. I don't have a poem that I've written. I've only written one poem that I'm proud of, and it's called Turkey Biscuit Dimple, and I don't have it with me tonight. So I'm going to be reciting a poem written over 200 years ago that you all already know, because I got a wife who's about to get her new green card. And you know what is the most difficult part of trying to be accepted in America as an immigrant? Trying to remember the words to our freaking national anthem. We know the words, but we just know it as some gibberish, right? We just memorize it as like, it's some random words that somehow signify freedom, right? But other countries, they have anthems that talk about like, their mountains and their forests and things. They talk about the actual country. Our anthem doesn't even mention our country's name. O Canada starts with the words, O Canada. Our country's anthem doesn't go, America is the land of freedom and liberty. No. Our country's anthem starts out with, "Oh, say." Yeah, it's just like, "Oh, say, didn't I see you at Speedway?" Or it's like that, "Oh, say." Continues from there. "Oh, say, can you see?" It's like, "Yeah, I can see." Not done yet. "Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light?" Yeah, it's a bit dim. It's a bit dim, I guess. But yeah, generally I can make out some shapes enough to drive to work in the morning. Not done yet. "Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?" Now our anthem has become a riddle. What is the thing that you hail at twilight and you can see it by the early light of dawn? What is that thing called? But we're not done yet. We still have a dependent clause to get to. "Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose," relative clause, "whose broad stripes and bright stars," by the way, impossible to recite that if English is your second language, "whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight over the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming." Here we are, we're halfway through the anthem, and we've finished a complete sentence, and it means, "Can you see the flag?" We're halfway through our anthem, and we've communicated, "Can you see the flag?" That's all that we've said so far, right? Then, if you listen to this, any recording of it, it always gets really soft and flowy and beautiful. La 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 la. The lyrics go, "And the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air." And now I realize I should have put a trigger warning on this. There's scenes of violence in our anthem, and you're just like, what? Why is it suddenly a PTSD flashback right now? Oh, because it gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Okay, back to the flag now. We're back to the flag now. We had a little war flashback there for a second, but now we're back to the flag. Important thing is, our flag is there. And now we come to the grand climax, the grand finale, where we go, "Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave." Sounds epic at baseball games, looks great on a bumper sticker, but what we always forget to mention is that last part of it ends with a question mark. It's not the land of the free, the home of the brave, exclamation point. It's, does that flag still wave over the land of the free and the home of the brave? Are we still free? Are we still brave? Our anthem ends with an existential question about the nature of our country. That's what we sing at every baseball game. That's what we sing all the time. Yeah. So to sum up, our anthem has 3 sentences. Can you see the flag? Yes, but only because of all the bombs. Are we still free? But that's not the most messed up anthem, because the French national anthem talks about watering the soil with the blood of your enemies. Thank you very much, everybody.
I'm filing the paperwork. Wow. Keep it going for Jeffrey. Who's going to follow that?
I don't know, Link.
A person sitting at Jeffrey's table. Please give it up for Seth.
Well, hello, Yellow Cab Tavern. Hi. Hi. I don't know how I'm gonna follow that. Anyway, I have old shit tonight. I wrote it about my ex-boyfriend. Leo, you're hot. Go to therapy. I'm still very proud of it. Hate him though. This one is called Timeline of Events Beyond the 20th Century. 1. Let me whisper my linguistic change into your skin. Shared phrases swap and shifted between us, exchanged back and forth. Every one is a small gift. Semantic shift is moving through us, and when our lips meet, hands linked, I can feel years of language development being absorbed through my pores. We will alter our speech down to the morphemes, and it might not particularly tell the truth, but the pragmatics will compensate. 2. Have you ever seen NASA's simulations of the collision between the Milky Way and Andromeda? The sky literally glows with the birth of new stars. 4 billion years from now, the long decomposed marrow of our bones, swallowed by red giant expansion, will meet once more. And we will lock pinkies like we used to. We will watch, we will wait, and we will not be afraid. And maybe, if we get close enough, press enough skin together, bare as the universe once made us and all her stars, we could do the same. Turn the future into the present and seize the day. 3. You taught me the hand trick for trigonometric functions. Pinky is 0 degrees, ring finger is 30, middle is 45, index 60, thumb is 90, cosine fingers above, sine fingers below, all over 2. Who cares? But I noted every soft moment you showed me, how you carefully bent down each finger like my hands were made of glass, kissed each knuckle like they were petals of fractal roses. You knew the equation of electrical conductivity as my heartbeat synced with yours, and you had the period of that function written in the palm of your hand, but you didn't need the hand trick at all to know where the asymptotes of hair needed to be tucked behind my ears to avoid the y-axis, or when to let the graph have at least one root, one solution, one x-intercept, and pull my body flat against yours. That one was for all the math nerds out there. 4. There's an anthropological significance to it, the acclimation to your life and culture, a character study into realism and romance, into the push and pull inertia of putting your lips on mine. I will write my dissertation on the cultural practices of how we come together and formulate new paradigms of thought. 5. You are my own medical textbook, my palms flat against your ribcage. I can feel your whole body expand with the effort of living. I covet the knowledge of chemical processes, knowing your body how you know it, understanding how your cells synthesize proteins, every molecular breakdown in the scope of your retinas, and what image they reflect to make you look at me like I'm the most beautiful person you've ever met. I lay my head against your chest and listen to your fractal heartbeat. I feel the rush of blood beneath your skin. Your respiration sounds like freedom as it shuffles through your lungs. I trace the outlines of your pleura against your chest, each balloon and expanding pocket to another universe. With a base 12 math system, each Koch curve offering an infinite number of places to fall in and acclimate. Thank you.
Y'all put your hands together one more time for Seth. I was going to adjust the mic, but it makes what's going to happen next easier if I don't. All right, y'all, we are going to be back here 14 days from today. If you can do the math, you can figure out what day that is. The 21st, how about that? Somebody did the math. Trying to remember. If there are any other general announcements, and then I got distracted because there's a CD hanging from the ceiling right here.
I always knew you were a bird brain.
All right, well, moving on from what Link said, we're going to go ahead and get our next poet up to the stage. Y'all put your hands together for Poet Barbie.
Why is that look dark?
One more time, Poet Barbie!
Okay, hi guys. As y'all know now, because of the 2 introductions, so I guess this makes 3. I'm Poet Barbie. This is some fresh shit. This is also some in-love shit, so here we go. If I don't drop my phone again. Okay. This is called Soft Girl Season. I have a lot of pride being a strong, independent woman. Especially seeing as I'm a strong, independent woman with a physical disability. I have been in a strong, independent survival mode for so long that I forgot how to be soft and what it all entails. That's until I was captivated by the bio-catches glow. From the moment we started talking, I knew he was different. I knew he saw me. This was solidified when we went on our first date. I could just breathe and put my defenses down and enter soft girl season. I lost my place. Okay. My phone is not cooperating with me. Okay. Okay. I'm gonna rewind myself. I could just breathe and put my defenses down and enter soft girl season. He knows my character and heart. He wholeheartedly accepts every aspect of my disability. Catch is so attentive, operates in healthy masculinity, has old-fashioned values, actually listens and cares about my feelings, has my best interest at heart in every aspect, considers and values my opinions while displaying leadership I can trust. I'm truly enjoying my soft girl season, and I hope this is the longest season of my life. Thank you.
I have said it once. I have said it many, many times. And I will continue to say it, God willing, for many, many, many more years. That boy ain't right. You gotta ask Christine about that one. I mean, the skinny jean thing doesn't do it for me, but we were talking about how we're looking forward to, single hoodie weather, like sweater weather and all that. I'm like, fuck, it's that now at night. So let's go ahead and keep the poetry going before we run out of warm weather outside. Please give a huge round of applause. Your next poet up, Queen Karah.
Hello. If you're looking for poetry prompts, I found a poetry prompt that was about writing a poem that represents the shape of your writing style. So, this is called The Circle, the Cycle. I found myself in quite the predicament. The slow spiral of never-ending nothingness. The nothingness is everything, caught in the wind, left with subtle sentiments, spontaneous delights like coffee foam and cinnamon, blank pages and vintage fonts ground me, keep me from tumbling into a void, lost to a gaping chasm of truth. The possibilities are slow torture, opening their jaws and swallowing me whole, while I obsess over ways I can fulfill them. This journey of well-roundedness feels more and more like sharp edges. I am only human, subject to the confusing and the pressure of choosing How can I possibly fit all these fragments, all these pieces of me into a churned-out product of artistry? I am a soul sent to spin this sphere, and I refuse to become a pawn of productivity. If I submit to the powers that be, who will reshape the construct of what it means to exist? That, at its core, is why I must persist. That is why I, like waves, will crash away at stone that gives silence a home, because I am a creature of great strength, redirecting the wheels of change. And although I may be a circle caught in the cycle, whose essence is still searching for a destination, I am also a flesh and bone with a passionate heart that pumps for creation. Thank you.
Y'all keep it going for Queen Karah. It looks like you're holding a microphone up to your face, Link.
I am. I was waiting just in case I needed to throw some whippy repartee or my approximation of this.
Well, I assumed it meant you had an announcement of some kind. So come up with an announcement of some kind.
What time does the kitchen close, Brighton? 9? Okay. So during the break we'll have, the kitchen will still be open if you want another slice of pizza or salad or those yummy freaking pretzel nuggets.
Did Brighton say 9 o'clock?
Do what? What'd you say, Morgan? Okay, anyway, who's the next poet?
The next poet up to the mic, y'all. Put your hands together for Nas. I don't know why I put so much stank on that A, but I did.
Hi, everybody. So this is my first time performing here, just to do my great friend here, Seth. I'm with that guy bright stripes and what's that, honey? Help me here with that. Yes, that I am the immigrant who has challenges with the national anthem so many times. Always, it's like out of my mind. It's like, what should I do? It was one time I just put something on my head. It's like, I'm a schmuck. I can do that. Well, pray for me. I have another 3 years to memorize the national anthem and be a citizen of America. But anyways, I come from Iran. We don't have dating stage there. We just go straight into love. Have you ever had love at first sight? How many of you had love at first sight here? Okay, I see like 4, 3 hands up there, 5. All right, if you were living in Iran, that was the only option available. Like, you either fall in love or we'll force you to fall in love at first sight. And you should be so deep in love that you either kill yourself on the way to get to your lover or you spend the rest of your life in depression. Glory love. And I was just telling my husband, which is now my husband, when we were dating, that I don't know. I don't understand this dating culture here. One of his great friends wanted me to introduce a girl to him to date, and I introduced one of my Turkish friends, and he was getting some advice from me. What should I do now? Should I text her or not? I was like, what do you mean text her? You go. Bow to her, say like, I love you so much. I don't know what should I do to get to you. I will wait forever and I will devote my life. And he was like, that's too much. I'm not sure. So I'm here to read a Persian poem, something that we grew up with. We had lessons about them. We had shows about them, theaters about them, called The Conversation Between Khosrow and Farhad. A little bit of background. It's this little beautiful princess named Shirin, not like Disney princess. We are in Iran. We are in Middle East. All the princes there are some kind of strong commander that will take off your head too if they want to. Anyways, she's ruling over the beautiful country of Armenia, and it's this powerful king of Persia named Khosrow that he falls in love with her, all because of a vizier who draw a picture of Shirin, and also at the same time took this guy, Khosrow, which is now a prince, to Armenia all the way when Shirin was naked swimming in the river. And that's how they fell in love before, love at first sight. That's definitely the only option. And they immediately fell in love with each other. But like any other love stories, there are some struggles there. He's the king of Iran. He can't marry a foreigner. Whatever. And then he comes back to his country. He marries another girl just because the court forced him to. But he's still deeply, deeply in love with Shirin. He built a castle in Iran for him. But the person who builds this castle out of strong mountain is called Farhad. He's this guy. He comes from normal society, like me and you. He falls in love with Shirin again, but he's not married to anyone. He saw Shirin for the first time, and now Khosrow is getting jealous. It's like, Shirin is just mine, and you're just a normal peasant. How dare you fall in love with Shirin? So I'm going to read this juicy conversation between these two when Khosrow wants to humiliate Farhad in front of everybody in the court. And Farhad is just this sweetheart that answers with love. Here we go. The way I'm going to go is that I'm going to read Persian and I'm going to translate it at the same time. نخستین بار گفتش که از کجایی، بگفت از دار ملک آشنایی، بگفت آنجا به صنعت در چه کوشند، بگفت انده خرند و جان فروشند. First time said, where are you from? He said, I'm from the land who learn you how to love. It says, what do they do in that land? He says, they buy sorrow and they sell their lives. It says, بگفتا جان فروشی در ادب نیست، بگفت از عشق بازان این عجب نیست، بگفت از دل شدی عاشق بدینسان، بگفت از دل تو میگویی من از جان. Khosrow said, it's not really common to sell your lives. And he said, for the lovers like me, it's nothing uncommon. He says, did you get so hard in love, deep in love with your heart? He says, you say from my heart, I say from my life and soul. بگفتا عشق شیرین بر تو چون است، بگفت از جان شیرینم فزون است، بگفتا هر شبش بینی چو مهتاب، بگفت آری چو خواب آید کجا خواب. Says, how is the love of Shirin to you? And he says, his sweet love is more important than my life. He says, do you see her as moonlight lighting up your nights? He says, yes, if I sleep. I can't sleep. بگفتا دل ز مهرش کی کنی پاک، بگفتا آنگه که باشم خفته در خاک، بگفتا گر خرامی در سرایش، بگفت اندازم این سر زیر پایش. Said, when would you wipe up your heart out of her love? He says, whenever I'll die. And he says, what would you do if you make your way to her room? And he says, I'll cut off my head and put it on her feet. بگفتا گر کند چشم تو را ریش، بگفت این چشم دیگر دارمش پیش. بگفتا گر کسی شارد فراچنگ، بگفت آهن خورد ور خود بود سنگ. Says, if she takes off one of your eyes with a fork, what would you do? He says, I will offer the other eye to her. بگفت اگر نیابی سوی او راه، بگفت از دور شاید دید در ماه. بگفتا دوری از مه نیست در خور، بگفتا شفته از مه دور بهتر. Says, what if you couldn't find a way to her? He says, it's better for me to see the moon from far distance. He says, it's not suitable for you to be away from your moon. And he says, the crazy man should be away from moon. بگفتا گر بخواهد هر چه داری، بگفت این از خدا خواهم بزاری. بگفتا گر به سریابیش خوشنود، بگفت از گردن این وام افکنم زود. He says, what if you found her being pleasant with taking off your head? And he says, I'll take this as a gift if she just is pleased with that. بگفت رو صبوری کن در این درد، بگفت از جان صبوری چون توان کرد، بگفت از صبر کردن کس خجل نیست، بگفت این دل تواند کرد دل نیست. He says, go and be patient with this love, you're never gonna find a way to Shirin. And he says, I can just do that with my heart. I lost my heart to her. I have nothing with me now. بگفت او آن من شو زو مکن یاد، بگفتی کی کند بیچاره فرهاد، بگفت در من کنم در وی نگاهی، بگفت آفاق را سوزم بگاهی. Says, what if I find my way to her and I'll try to be with her? And he says, I'll burn the whole world with my sigh. به یاران گفت که از خاکی یا آبی، ندیدم کس بدین حاضر جوابی. به زر دیدم که با او بر نیایم، چو زرش نیز بر سنگ آزمایم. And this time Khosrow realizes that he's just humiliating himself by continuing this conversation. So he just orders Farhad to go and carve a mountain for Shirin, and that's how he goes there. And he hears from some of the staff of the court that Shirin died, and he falls from the cliff and he dies as well. Thank you.